welcome back to another video. So today is day 2 of mixtape-a-thon. Mixtape readathon. I am currently reading for this, but also for this challenge I'm posting daily. And so today I'm filming my September wrap up. It's actually like 9 o'clock at night because I went to make dinner. The milk was no good, and so I had to run to Walmart, and it's just been a whole thing. But I digress. We're here. I'm getting it done. I'm meeting the challenge. I'm so happy for myself. I will give you an update to what I'm reading. I'm currently reading Abide With Me by Ellen Harris. Hopefully I can get 30 minutes read tonight. We will see. But yeah, I just thought we would do my September wrap up because I haven't posted it yet, and it felt like a perfect time while I'm doing the daily posting to go ahead and do it. So the first thing I finished in September was Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. I always want to go Shay. It's Shay Earnshaw. She did a really amazing job on this book. I'm hoping that she has another rendition. I would love to read it. I hope she makes it into a whole series. That would be amazing. If you haven't seen, I'll leave a link below and in the cards. I did do a full review for this one up on my channel. Next, I finished Black Cats and Evil Eyes. It's Tales of Superstition. So this book was all about where we get different superstitions, why they said that, where it originated, what started. I found this one to be a little dry. I think I did say in my vlog, if you watched that from yesterday, Fred, please stop, that it was organized kind of wonky. There was no real organization to it, and I think if there had been, it wouldn't have been as dry and as hard to get through. But I still enjoyed it. Next, I finished Dolly Parton, Song Teller. It is the life of Dolly Parton and how she writes all of her songs. I honestly truly enjoyed it. Dolly is super personable and comes across really just bubbly and down to earth. If you're looking for to get into reading memoirs and you're curious about Dolly Parton, you listen to her like I did with my mother or my grandmother, I highly recommend this memoir because it is a really good one. Next, I finished Good Girl, Bad Blood. It's the second one in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I found this one to be really good. I like YA mysteries though. I like the amateur sleuth who's figuring it out better than the cops. That's just something I like. If you didn't like that in the first one, you're not gonna like this one either. Good Girl's Guide to Murder, we really never understood that title. It didn't come up in the book. It wasn't something that was like on the nose. And in the second one, you find out why. You find out that she does a podcast telling the details of the first one. It names her podcast Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And so it kind of fits in and makes more sense. This one wasn't about the same case. It's a new case that she kind of gets wrangled into, even though she doesn't want to. And her parents know she got obsessed the last time. And she tells them, I'm not going to do it again. Like this, I'm done. I'm just going to do case coverage and let people know what's going on in the case. And she gets wrapped into helping a friend of hers find out what happened to his brother. His brother has gone missing. He doesn't know what's going on, and she gets wrapped into figuring out what happened to him. This one's actually really, really interesting to me. I can't explain the what I found interesting because it is a spoiler. But I will say that it has an aspect to it that I think we see sometimes can see in true crime stories, and we want to blame everyone involved when some of the people involved don't have a say. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to really give any spoilers, but I think it's an interesting discussion on that. Next, I finished Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. I want to say this was a reread, but honestly, I don't remember reading it the first time, but I knew the ending. Like, I knew what was going to happen as I was reading it. Like, it was like a deja vu feeling. I gave it 4 stars. I think it was really good. I did say in my vlog that if I had been able to physically read while I listened to it and like see the pictures and everything, I probably would have enjoyed it more, because that's the interesting thing about this series is that Ransom Riggs did find these photos and has made a story around these weird, creepy photos from an addict. And I think it's just super, super interesting that there are like actual photographs that he has that are from before Photoshop that he has written a story around. But yeah, it was good. It just wasn't a 5-star read like the first one was for me. Next, I finished Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I can't wait to pick up another Gaiman. This one was like remembering what it's like to be a kid again. It gave me all the feels of having that imagination and believing what your imagination is cooking up. Like, you're in it, you believe it, you have like having an imaginary friend. Like, that's what this is. And it was just beautifully written. I felt like I was right there with them. Like, I did not feel like I was listening to an audiobook. I felt like I was in that situation with them at that moment. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did give it 5 stars. Next was The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. This one surprised me. I'm giving it 4 stars because I wish it had went there a little more, but honestly, that's the fantasy lover in me, the fantasy reader in me. This one is all about kids who aren't the chosen one, who aren't in the middle of this fantasy novel. They are just the outside characters living their regular life while the chosen one's trying to fight off evil. Like, they don't understand what's going on. They have no context, nothing. And I honestly love that, because I'm not sure it was written in each chapter, because again, I did listen to this one as well. But like, there's just a little snap of what's happening on the fantasy side of it, and then you go back into the day-to-day lives with these kids. And so it was just an interesting mashup for me, and I honestly gave it 4 stars and kind of loved it. Next, I finished Neverwell Wake by Marisha Pessl. She also wrote Night Film, and I kind of feel the same way about both of these. I gave this one 5 stars. Night Film, I think I gave 3. She has a way of writing where you're not sure what the hell's going on, and that feeling is okay when it's explained at the end, but I feel like both of these really didn't get explained at the end, and it kind of pissed me off with this one. I did give it 5 stars because it was smartly written, but I don't agree with a couple decisions that were made. And it's hard to explain. So this one's all about 5 friends. You know what? It talks about 4 of them at the very end, and I can't figure out what happened to number 5, but anyways. And I've talked this through with coworkers and my better half and my best friend, and I still don't know where number 5 went to. And now I really want to reread to figure out where. Anyways, so what happened was there was 6 of them to begin with, and during their senior year, the golden boy dies. And it's believed he committed suicide. His girlfriend, who we're following, Beatrice is her name. They call her B. She never believed he believed he committed suicide, never thought he was suicidal, and always thought he was murdered. And his other 4 friends know something about it and have never said anything. And so after she is whisked away they live basically like at a boarding school, her parents whisk her back home, say that she's too depressed to finish school and all that. She gets invited out with them after a year. She's done her first year in college after a year, and she goes because she wants to find out what happened to him. This is not a spoiler, you find this out very beginning. They're in a car accident, and all 5 of them are stuck in a Neverwell Wake where it's like 11 hours between the start and the end, and they only get those 11 hours, and the whole world resets but them. Like, they remember what happened the week before, but no one else in town does. So it's like people are just going about this day as they always, as they always have. And there is a keeper who tells them, you must unanimously agree that one of you get out. Only one of you gets out, and you all 5 have to unanimously agree to one. And yeah, I don't agree with the ending. I don't agree with who got out. But that's my own opinion. It was really good though. I gave it 5 stars because it was smartly written. It was not easy to follow all the time. I wish we had gotten more of the monotonous of the wakes. I feel like there wasn't much repetition. There wasn't much of a feeling of they're stuck here. There wasn't like a desperation that you would expect to feel if I was stuck living the same day over and over. I would feel that desperation. We never felt that on the page, at least in my own opinion. So I wish there was more of that. The last book I finished in September, well, that I'm counting for September, is Witch Haven by Sasha Peyton Smith. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I got her name right. This one was really, really interesting. So it was sent to me by the publisher for a review. I'm actually reviewing Witch Hunt, which is the second one. I have not got a chance to finish it. I'm doing a spotlight for the publisher instead, and I will be reviewing it once I get it done. I just haven't had a chance to finish it yet. And so the first one follows our main character. I can't remember her name. Felicity. It's Felicity. She accidentally murders her boss. There are trigger warnings in this one for sexual assault. It doesn't actually happen. It's started like he starts to sexually assault her, and that's when her scissors fly across the room and embed in his neck. She has no clue how this happens. So what she does is she goes and cleans herself up. She takes her dress, packs it in the box with a coat she's going to go deliver later that day, and goes to bed. Acts like none of this ever happened. She was down in her she works in a seamstress office, or seamstress, she's a seamstress, and they all work in the same building. They live on the next floor up. She goes upstairs, goes to bed, and the next morning cops are there because obviously they found the body, and it finds out that it's her scissors that killed him, and her boss tries to help her get out of it because she knows what happened. She's pretty sure she knows that, he tried to sexually assault her. And so she's like, sneak out the back stairwell and go deliver your coat. So I'm sure her boss knew that her bloody clothes were in there, and like they really couldn't charge her without having some kind of proof other than it was her scissors. Like somebody else could have grabbed my scissors and killed him. That doesn't mean I did it. So she goes and delivers the coat, gets rid of her bloody clothes, and comes back. And by the time she goes back, talks to her like, okay, we want to talk to you. Not a problem. These 2 nurses bust in and say, hey, you tested positive for tuberculosis. You have to come with us. And she's like, I haven't taken a TB test. What the hell? And it's not until they get to the sanatorium where she's supposed to be like sick with TB and everything that she finds out, nope, it is a boarding school for witches. And she's going to learn to control her powers and basically do mundane things so they don't drive her crazy. So they teach her how to clean house with her magic, how to thread a needle without touching it, how to breathe deeply, and stuff like that. And obviously shit starts to happen. There is a murder mystery aspect because her brother was murdered and thrown in the harbor and is found without his hands on the beach, and she wants to know who murdered her brother. That's been her goal forever, is to find out who murdered her brother. She was going to the police department every Sunday and sitting there and demanding if they had any answers, if they had any more updates about his case. So there is that aspect to it. It was really good. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was not bad at all. I think it's definitely meant for a younger audience, in my opinion. I would say 12, 13. Other than the hinted at is how I'm going to put it. Sexual assault. I mean, he pins her up against the wall. There's nothing, he doesn't say anything crass or overly sexual to her. Other than that, I think 12, 13, 14-year-olds. My sister is 11. She turned 11 on the 30th of September. I would let her read this one. I don't think there's a problem. That scene may start a conversation that it's almost time for her to have anyways. So yeah. My brain just stopped working. You ever find anything on the side of the couch and your brain just stops working? That's what did. So yeah, that's the last thing I finished. Overall, not a bad month. I have finished 2 other books since then, but I will talk about those in my October wrap up. Yeah, if y'all like videos like this, please subscribe. I'm going to be doing this for the next about another week. I'll be posting daily from now to the 16th. And then on the 16th, you'll get one more video, and then the next video will be that Friday. And so we're going to be back to a normal schedule. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope y'all enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.